guys want to discuss on social media? Because I know you guys exposed everybody, so you're going to have to deactivate your account.
Welcome to episode 4 of the Pride Lands podcast. Today is February 3rd, 2020, Super Monday. Today's guests is Kenedy High School Student Council members Frank Wilson, Ashlynn Serrano, Dezirae Santana. And on today's episode, we will be discussing social media, the good, the bad, and the ugly. What my parents don't know about social media is what my siblings or younger relatives need to know about social media is. This week at Kenedy ISD, from elementary to high school and everything in between. Welcome to the Pride Lands podcast, coming live from Kenedy ISD, home of the Pride Lands in Kenedy, Texas. We are lions, leopards, and cubs. Hear us roar. Hi, guys.
What's up?
Hey.
How are you today?
Tired.
Yeah, I'm really tired.
It was like not even a weekend. I feel like it needs to be longer.
Went by too fast.
Introduce yourself first. We're going to go down. This is
Ashlynn.
Ashlynn, you are a
I'm a sophomore.
sophomore at Kenedy ISD.
I'm Frank. I'm a sophomore at Kenedy ISD.
I'm Dezirae. I'm a senior.
Senior. Well, I didn't want any seniors because I thought they were going to be lazy when they came on here.
I know.
Des isn't lazy.
And not talk.
No,
She works. She
Just
works. She
kidding.
works.
Awesome. You guys are on student council.
Yes.
That's very important. You guys don't realize that your peers voted you in for some reason or another to represent their student body. So congratulations on that first and foremost. And I wanted to make sure that I had student council members on here when we were going to do this first and foremost. So thank you guys. You made the cut. Hold your applause. Wow. I wish I had a crickets button.
Wait, you said hold your
Yeah,
process.
it was a joke. It was a joke.
Okay.
All right. So today we're going to be talking about social media. You guys know about that?
Yeah, we have
Everybody
Snapchat,
does.
Instagram.
All right. What are your go-to apps? Let's start with Ashlynn.
I had to say Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram.
Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram. How about you, Frank?
I don't really use Instagram. I mainly go on Snapchat because like you see more of their life, and I know I don't know if it's like counted as like a social media, but I watch TikTok a lot.
TikTok. Wow.
Mine's Snapchat and Twitter. Everybody keeps everybody updated on those two mainly.
Why though? Why Twitter?
I don't know. Like, I feel like everyone just posts like their whole life on there.
Yeah.
So it's just about being nosy then.
Yeah.
What about you, Frank?
For Snapchat is like you see more behind the person than just like a few pictures or a few words, like Twitter and Instagram.
Snapchat?
Yeah,
Snapchat's horrible.
I love Snapchat.
How about you, Dezirae? Why? What was your favorite, you said?
I would say Snapchat, but Twitter's like my second go-to.
So those are y'all social media apps. My question was, what are your go-to apps? You notice that you all chose social media apps. There's nothing like productive on your phone, like
Oh, true. Maybe like a game.
like a calculator app. I'm just kidding.
Oh, maybe like my music app.
Maybe math
use-
photos or something. To
Like
get
photo
answers
math.
to the quiz.
Yeah.
What is what?
Photo
Photo
math.
math.
It's like it's safe. Like you don't get like the math in class, or like you just weren't there like at the moment of paying attention. You can just snap it and like they'll try to work it out for you. And if they haven't like on a solution, they'll like try and give you like a video for step by step and how to do it.
You just take a picture of the question
Yeah.
and it gives you everything you want to know.
Wow. Did you hear that, Mr. Stewart?
It's Miss Selena's actually.
Yeah. Last year in the beginning
It
of the
was
school
so hard.
year.
Photo
That was
math.
me all this
Uh-huh.
first semester.
Wow, I think I was born 10 years too early or something. I hated math. That would have been very helpful for me. What else do you guys have besides photo math and music apps?
Like
'Cause
games.
just games.
I don't really have games.
I don't
Any
know.
of y'all like listen to Audible or
No.
Nah.
y'all don't have
I
any
feel like that's just being lazy.
meditation apps?
I feel like you're the type of person to listen to audiobooks.
That's why he looked at you like
Not really, but I mean, I have in the past. It's much easier than reading actually, but whatever. To each their own. I don't have like meditation apps, something
No.
for health, mental health,
Usually we're
wellness.
just like for me, I usually just like watch like a satisfying video or like go through TikTok until I
Yeah.
pass.
What
out.
is a satisfying video?
So like
okay, like
there's different
clay.
vibes.
You cut clay slowly with the knife,
Oh,
and it just
bro.
like sits there, like its form.
Or like
Kinda like that. Yeah,
when
like
they-
that or something.
like when
Oh.
they pop their fingers or something. Oh.
Like chiropractic
Uh-huh.
videos.
Or like okay, like I don't want to be weird or anything, but like I like watching ASMR, like eating.
ASMR.
Bro, like, I love the eating, bro. Like, if it's like a jelly or something.
Yeah, ASMR is disgusting.
Or when they eat a
You just
squid's
hate
head
me.
and you hear it in the microphone.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, that's pretty disgusting. Well, so we all know that everyone is pretty much addicted to social media. It's it's part of the fabric of our society. That's why it's called social media. So what is the good about social media? What I mean, you guys told me why your favorite apps are your favorite apps, but what purpose does it serve?
I feel like just more to connect, like, it's not just pictures and quotes and all that. Like, say if like you're growing a business or you're just trying to like just get a jump. Like, it's easier for people to see that more so in person. Like,
I get it.
That's what my point of view is.
That's the good.
Yeah.
What do you think?
You can meet like new people. I don't know, like
You're a sophomore.
yeah.
You just need to know the people you know right now.
Like I have this friend and she's like from San Antonio and like we used to go to school. And I still keep in
contact with her. I get it. And I guess like you know, it's easier to find people that relate to you a bit more because this is a small town, you know. If you're not into like hip hop or trap or whatever, you know, I can feel like you might be alienated. So reaching out and finding people online that listen to the music you like might be a little easier than dealing with just the same old. But I understand that aspect of it. How about you?
It was like more of Ashlynn's and Frank's, but like also like when you do meet new people, like for instance, like Snapchat, like you could see that they're real, like they're not a fake person or something, you know?
Like catfishing.
Yeah.
But you can still be catfishing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess. I mean,
going on with that, like, what I see mainly with the using of Snapchat and like my mom, she uses Facebook or Messenger. Like she can talk to her cousins that are like miles and miles, like 100,000 miles away, like in Hawaii or in Utah or in Samoa. But like she uses it mainly for that, and that's like makes her so happy when she just hears like family from that far, even though it's like she was never thinking of like it could get that much better, you know.
I get it. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, it helps keep people you know connect. It helps meeting new people. And so I'm going to ask you two more questions here. Like, one's what is the bad of social media and what is the ugly? The ugly is just like, you know, the darkest form of what social media can be. But what is the bad in your opinion? Like, you know, something you can deal with every day that doesn't bother you, but you know it's a bad point of social media.
I feel like this is really bad, but dark humor is like on certain things, like say for instance, if you say like there's this girl on TikTok where like she has no arms, but like I go straight to the comments, like, and I read them, and like no, like it'll be like her nub and like her elbow, and it'll be like she said chicken leg, and like you just see like emojis of chicken leg, like it's like it's funny, but like at the same time like it's cruel, but it's dark humor, like that's what it is.
Is that the same as dank memes?
Kind of.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can see the bad. So you're basically judging somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure this TikTok girl's aware of it. So she kind of
but she just keeps going.
Gets a rise out of it. But at the same time, you know, you are poking fun at somebody and maybe not necessarily you, but you're partaking in getting a rise out of the comments, which I understand. You know, it's human nature. You know, we like to, I had a little experiment for us. All right. I forgot to mention it. I need all of y'all to pull out y'all's phones, face up.
He said that because it went
Yes,
off.
turn your ringers on. We're gonna keep track of how many times you guys get a notification.
Really, I have like 50 of them right now.
All right. Well, we're gonna start right from this point. So every time your phone goes off, Detrin's gonna write it, and Frank's gonna write it down. We're gonna tally those up at the end of the podcast.
Okay.
Because Dezirae's phone was going off already.
So like maybe can I take them back so it can go off?
No.
No.
That's what I
Because we're gonna talk about something here in a little bit about that. I need to check this real quick. All right, we're good. All right, so basically, sort of like taunting, face up, buddy. Being cruel in a way. What was that? Dezirae got one.
Yeah.
Turn up the ringer so everyone can hear.
No, it's
My bad.
Oh. What is the ugly of social media? Just the nastiest, ugliest part, you know, of what you guys experience as teenagers in social media.
I think it's like, to me, it's like older people that try luring young ones in, you know, try to trick them and like, you know, do horrible things to them. I think that's like the big thing in our generation now. That.
Yeah, I mean that's part of that's been a thing for society for forever. But it's easier and more dangerous. Yeah, I get it with social media. How about you, Frank? What's the ugliest part of social media for you?
Bullies.
Yeah.
Bullies?
Like,
yeah.
I would say it's mainly in like the younger kids. Like when you get into high school, like there's still bullying, but it's not as bad as like when you were younger. Like when I first got a phone, I thought it was so cool, but then like I found out like it wasn't as good as like an iPhone, and I would just get bullied for that and bullied for other things, like me being overweight or something, just something mean and cruel. Like I feel like that's so like they could like hurt me so bad from just like some words on a screen.
So let's talk about that for a second. Like you're talking about bullying, but what you talked about a second ago is going on to the girl's TikTok page and making fun of her dismembered arm, an amputee, but you're not necessarily making fun of it, but you are partaking in it by laughing at her experience, correct?
Like I'm not stopping it. Like that's the bad thing. Like
so that's the thing. That's not just with teenagers. That's with human nature. Yeah. Like we have a disconnect of our idea of bullying is, because when it's somebody we don't know, it's not considered bullying. But if somebody's making fun of Ashlynn because she wears glasses, you know her and you think that's unfair, correct?
I feel like the more closer you are to her, like if someone's like making fun of Ashlynn, like I know like she has a group of people and that's like to be like backing her up and talking like back to those people like to shut it down. But I see that girl on the screen and I see people like making fun of her. Like I'm not gonna say anything about it. I'm just gonna like just keep watching the comments and like laugh about that because I'm not as connected to that person.
You're not connected.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. And that's the problem with society as a whole is like we disconnect ourselves. We got 3 in a row. We disconnect ourselves because we don't think the internet is real. We believe in our minds, we believe that this is a fantasy. These people are just there for our entertainment, which is not true. Like there are people, these are real human beings that have moms, dads, brothers, and sisters. But it's very hard, especially for teenagers, but even for adults, for us to see that. Like we think it's really it's there for our convenience, which it's not. And we need. There's one of my favorite Childish Gambino songs, and I forgot what the name of the song is, but one of the lyrics is in there is because with the internet, mistakes are forever. And it's off the internet CD, and he basically talks about the internet as a whole and how dangerous it can be. And I don't think people realize that. Yeah, with the internet, mistakes are forever. Everything you say, everything you do, every picture you take, there's no temporary. I don't care what you believe about Snapchat. It's not temporary. Those photos, those texts, whatever you're doing, it's stored on a server somewhere and eyeballs see it. So you guys got to, I mean, not you guys in general, but society as a whole needs to realize that what you say or even the things that you laugh at, they have consequences.
Like it could affect you in the future. The person who had like...
So basically you're a bully. But you hate bullying.
No, that wasn't my point. I was supposed to put across.
That's his Snapchat.
Oh I got man, one. You got... Oh, Ashlynn got one.
What I was mainly talking about was how you were saying like it will still be there. Like my teacher, like Miss Dezirae, like she's the person like I mainly talk to, even though I have a trio advisor, like talk to you about like college stuff because she's really like well informed on that. She says like what you're posting now could affect like if you get that scholarship or if you get like that endorsement that you need to go to the college that you want. That's why every time like I think more so like when I read those comments, I'm not liking those comments. I'm just reading them, getting a laugh out, and just going to the next thing.
Yeah. So she's absolutely right. Like you see it every day in the news about this athlete that lost their scholarship or somebody who had a job that no longer has it because of something they posted in 2011. It's not a joke. It really isn't. Ashlynn, you're catching up. And you can't respond. It's gonna kill you. You cannot respond. And Frank, you are a social butterfly, aren't you?
I literally snapped them. I said, nobody snapped me.
Oh.
Everybody's gonna be like, why?
Now they're gonna snap you. So we talked about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So every single day you guys go home. Just off the top of your head, how much time do you spend on social media? Off the top of your head.
A lot. Like I spend like 2 hours max.
2 hours. You know how many calories you can burn in 2 hours if like you were exercising?
I'm just so tired after practice.
I get it. I mean, we're all guilty of it. How about you, Frank?
Just there.
In the morning, like 20 minutes because I just put it on for like music when I'm showering. And then school, it's like adding up everything is like an hour. And when I get home, like I'm just tired and I want to crash. I'll just be on there for like TikTok. I'll just be on there for I feel like 1 hour, but it's like 3 hours past and I'll just knock out.
So about 5 hours total. Yeah. Yeesh, that's crazy. How about you?
Honestly, like I'm not gonna lie, I'm addicted to my phone. Like.
Yeah. Most of us are.
If I'm doing something and like it goes up, I'll stop real quick and I'll like answer like anybody that texts me.
Yeah.
You know, so like
Immediately.
It's a lot. Like last night I stayed up to maybe like 12:30.
So it's bothering you guys right now that you guys have notifications.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm kind of fine.
Nah, I'm fine.
I'm just like
You're good with it? How about you?
I had a discussion with my mom last night. It got so heated. She was like, get out. Like she told me to go in my room because we were talking about like our generation and her generation. She was like, I swear if y'all didn't have y'all's phones, like y'all wouldn't know how to survive. And I was like, well, like y'all generation was mainly like building stuff and ours is like advancing it and making it better. And
settle down there.
And we just kept with valid points or whatever. And then she just got heated and she's like, go. I was like, okay. And then we just ate some candy and we were fine.
I mean, I honestly think that I'm not going to get into this because this is another discussion, but you both are right and you both are wrong. I mean, it's depending on what your philosophy of life is and how you view society. But yes, there is a great disconnect. We are more connected than we ever have been as a planet, but yet we are also more disconnected than we ever have been. We have a hard time. We have a hard time distinguishing the lines between reality and fantasy. So it's crazy. It really is. So we talked about the ugly side of social media. And you guys talked about how much time you guys spend on social media, which is average. Like I actually have an app that keeps track of how much time I spend on my phone. And at one time it was ridiculous, but then again, I work in social media marketing, so I have to be on my phone constantly. And it drives me crazy. I really do not like it, but it is what it is. I have blue filters on my phone and I have blue blockers on my glasses because of what it does physically.
The UV rays, right?
Yep. And a lot of people don't realize that it damages your eyes. It does a lot to your brain waves also. And we're going to talk about that because I want to know what Ashlynn does when you go on Twitter. What's the first thing you do when you go on Twitter?
I refresh it. That way I can see everything new.
You need the cheese man right then and there. How does the cheese man make you feel?
Fine. Like, I don't know. I don't really have that much gossip on my like Twitter. Like not every day. It'll be like
every once in a while, right? Yeah.
So do you get on Instagram?
Sometimes.
So when you get on Twitter, like what are you looking for? Just cheese man.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
For my non-Spanish speaking audience members, cheese man's gossip. So when you see something you like, what does it do? It makes you feel happy. It gets you interested.
Yeah, it just gets me interested.
So your brain is releasing these chemicals called dopamine. It's making you feel happy, almost satiated, like you ate something almost. It has the same experience. Somebody just went off.
Frank.
What about you, Frank? What do you do when you first get on? What's your user experience?
When I go in and I see like someone's story, like I will refresh it the same way as her, but like I'm only going for the funny stuff. And so I'll go for like the Snapchat stories or like where it's like a bad tattoo and like they give each other bad tattoos.
Oh yeah.
Or like there's this one called, I think it's Breakthrough or whatever. When like you go with your ex and like you see if if you can get back with your ex for your mistakes. Like just stuff to get me interested.
So you might be sadistic, Frank.
Yeah.
You might get a rise out of people's misery.
No, that's
kidding.
not it at all.
I'm just kidding. Okay. But I can see where you get humor. That's where you go for your humor, and your brain does the same thing. It releases dopamine, so it makes you happy. Like you get your humor, you get your laughter off of other people's misery. I get it. No, I'm just kidding. Out of jokes. So that's what the majority of people go on the internet for.
Yeah,
is for happiness. How about you?
It's like Ashlynn's, but then like I also like looking at quotes. Like, people will post like
motivational.
Yeah, most motivational, and then like real stuff, like, you know, just speaking some facts a little bit. But Twitter,
I think she's lying.
Twitter, I would think that Twitter is like for Kenedy, but when I lived in Corpus, Facebook was the Twitter.
It's total, like, you are accurate in many ways, and we're going to discuss that in a little bit. Each city and region has its own demographic. We'll talk about that because that's part of my job to decipher that, and yeah, that's a very, very good point there. But what about the bad? Like, does it make you feel bad ever, Ashlynn?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
What makes you feel bad? I mean, you don't have to get specific, but just more or less like
when they're like when Frank said like when they're bullying, like that makes me feel bad because like in middle school I was bullied and like
Yeah, me too.
it made me feel bad.
So do you think like it's just too easy to say negative things online?
Yes.
I mean, honestly, if somebody's fighting, like, what is it called? Ghosting? No, ghosting is ignoring.
Oh,
Yeah.
My bad. My bad. What is it called when you're talking about somebody but not actually bringing their name up? Like, everybody knows who you're talking about. Like, they're posting about it. Like,
Oh, like they'll say something.
Where they don't
she finna
add
get
them?
beat. She knows who who I'm talking about. I don't. There's
I
not
don't
really a
think
word.
Yeah.
It's just where they don't at them, I guess you could say. Right?
Oh, like don't add me. Like
don't
that.
at me. Yeah. No, there used to be a word for it. I just don't remember what it's called. It was something in the terms of ghost. I know what ghosting is, and it wasn't that. It was proxy. It was by proxy or something where you basically this is
Old people.
Old people and
Yeah.
It was basically where you're calling somebody out without actually calling them out. Man, Frank. 2 at 1. You only marked 1. There's 2. You're gonna get a prize after this.
I know.
So, what about like envious? You guys ever get envious about looking at somebody's feed or?
Yeah.
So, I mean, be honest. Like,
Their
talk to me.
food.
Just okay. The food. What else?
Yeah.
Like trips. Like somebody who has money. I don't know. What makes you? You can be honest. Like, what makes you a little jealous of someone? Because it goes on the internet all the time.
Like what they have, like
I
don't have.
It doesn't really make me jealous because there's like a couple. Well, there's a couple of people here, you know, that. How do I say this? The things that I went through, and I just see how other people that has had everything rub it in other people's faces that don't necessarily have or had that.
Yeah.
That just, to me, that's ugly. Like, that's personally an ugly person. Like, inside, not.
Do you think they're doing that on purpose to rub it in someone's face? Or you just taking it that way?
From personal experience, I think it was on purpose.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. So that goes into some of the things that we're going to talk about here. So one of the things that people have, is that 2 or is that 1?
Oh,
That's one.
One of the things that we're going to talk about is some of the things that social media has done to alter our brainwaves and how we think. And one of those is called phantom vibration syndrome. Have you heard of that?
No.
Okay, so have you ever gone off the grid? Have you ever gone dark for a while, like for a week, and say, I'm not going to open my phone?
Oh, like
No.
like when I see people on Snapchat and they're like logging out for like a week, like just like a.
And it only lasts like a day or two.
I know.
So
They'll still be sending me streaks.
Yeah. So logging, I mean, it's really, really difficult. And that's one of the negative impacts that social media.
I've turned off my phone for like a week straight at one point, and like where I shoved it in my bed so I won't touch it. But
Wow.
yeah.
That's good willpower. But did something cause that? Like an incident? You don't have to bring up the incident, but yeah, it was a reaction of something negative.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How about you?
I got my phone taken away like for a month.
So your mom helped you
Yes.
with the detox. No, that happens. I do that to my kids all the time. So phantom vibration syndrome is when our brains are so addicted to the notifications and the buzzing that our phones produce that we actually feel it even if we don't have our phones.
Oh, that's happened to me where like
And-
I'm like, oh wait, but I don't even have my phone
but
on me.
you felt something, right?
Yeah.
So
like you think you hear it.
it's causing a form of anxiety. It's like, oh, I have a notification. I have to check it. I have to view it right now. I need to be in the loop. I need to know what's going on. So there's been some studies on that, and it's quite disturbing that our brains are wired already like that. We've only been introduced to this technology for about 20 years, if even that. But our brains are already getting to the point where they need it. They have a system where it's like, okay, I know that usually throughout the day, my phone will vibrate. So I need to constantly check it. And even if you don't have your phone on you, your brain is sending you notifications itself saying, hey, you need to check your phone, which is very dangerous. So it's altering the way our brains work. Like we talked about earlier about how it makes you feel your own views. It releases dopamine when you log in to, even if you're not seeing something you like or seeing something that's funny or something, it's still releasing happiness or your idea of happiness in your brain just for that few seconds. When you click on a picture of a happy couple, or somebody with money, it gives you a negative feeling, correct? Or sort of almost like envy, right? What we talked about a second ago. Yeah. So it does the opposite also. So it releases dopamine, but it also makes you feel anxious and depressed a lot of times.
Really?
Yeah. Have you ever been on your feed and just been like, man, what am I doing? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, man.
Oh, like if I'm just sitting at home, just not doing nothing, like I know it could be like productive, and I see people like climbing mountains or just like picking up trash, like in their environment. Like
not from Kenedy, but there are people out there.
Yeah.
Are just doing something productive in society. Yeah. So it makes you kind of feel like
a loser.
Sort of. Not in those
loser,
terms.
Like I'm like I could be doing something better.
You can be doing something, and you actually can. Like I said earlier, like 2 hours. That was a lot of calories burned. I'm not saying that you got to work out or anything. I'm just saying, like, me being the person that I am, and I enjoy like working out because I sit at a desk all day. It's like I understand the value of time. Like, there's not a dollar amount in the world that can buy you 1 second of time. So when you think about that, 2 hours of your life every day on social media, that's a lot of time. And when you add it all up in the bigger scheme of things, when you're 85 years old and you're getting read, hey, Ashlynn, you were on the internet for equivalent to 3 years, like throughout your life. It's kind of haunting. It's very scary to think about that. So we're talking about anxiety and like things that the negative aspects of what your brain goes through while you're on the internet. One of them is like an internal monologue. So you're looking at things on the internet and you're talking to yourself. Like, we're not going to deny it. How often do you have an inner monologue with yourself? Say that.
I do constantly.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie. I'll be like, wow, really?
Like, going more on that, like, inner monologue, like, do you mean like just like talking to yourself or just like practicing stuff?
Either or.
Okay, so like I'll be in the shower and I'll just have free time and I'll just be like practicing arguments or something. Like,
so you're winning the arguments in
like in my mind. I'm like this person's on the ground by the time I'm done.
That's good. That's a form of therapy, self-help. So I've seen that meme that's floating around. It's like some dude and it said something like me arguing in the shower, and then my shampoo bottles, and they're all like clapping. Yeah. So I get it. Yeah, like it happens. That's part of what goes on, like the anxiety that builds up throughout the day. And it may not be from social media. It may be part of what you're experiencing throughout the day from social media, and it's like a snowball effect. It just builds up and it cracks. So we get an internal monologue. We talk about, we compare our lives to other people's constantly. And that's because we're viewing what's called a highlight reel. Does that ring a bell to anybody?
You got a definition?
Highlight reel. Like when you watch ESPN, what are you watching?
Highlights.
Highlights of what?
Oh, like
Their
the best plays. Yeah.
The best plays. So you're watching the best plays of people's lives.
Yeah.
They're not showing you like the mental breakdowns, the negative, like the just the negative aspects of their lives, because we all deal with them. Mm-hmm. We all have negative anything every single day, but you're not seeing that on social media, of course, unless it's a 6th grader who's, crying on the internet for likes or whatever. But for the most part, it's the highlight reel, right? So you're seeing the best part of someone else's life and comparing your life to theirs, and it's not fair. But that's society. That's all of us in general. Like, is that something that you do every day without realizing it?
Honestly, I think so. Like, I just, like I'll see people. Like, for instance, like the other day, like there's this beautiful girl, and I used to go to school with her, and her family's like really rich, and she goes to college, has perfect everything. And I'm just like, wow, like, like comparison,
Yep.
So I'm just like,
but you don't know what struggle she's going through.
Yeah.
Like
Everybody got a
I see
struggle.
that all the time. Like in our school, like I'll see people like great parents, like good grades, and like one moment they'll just snap, and then like it'll just be no one. You'll see this person. I'm like, hey, you okay? And like they just start pouring out like everything they've been going through, and you thought, oh wow, my life is crap, but like theirs is literal.
There's a good song. And I don't know how to say her name. Kelly Lucas. I don't know. She's with Tyler the Creator. Callie Ulcich. Anyways, it's called After the Storm. Look it up. Tyler the Creator and Callie Uchis or Uchis or whatever.
Chillis or something.
Yeah, something like that. And it's called After the Storm. And she's talking about, with Tyler the Creator, about like, do you ever know what's going on? Do you ever know what he's going through? Whatever. And it's basically like a happy song. But when you think about it, it's like, oh yeah, like we're so involved with everyone's highlight reels. We don't really ever ask, are you okay? Do you need some help or whatever? And that's part of it. That's part of what social media has done to us. Another thing is social currency. It's like, what is currency?
Money.
So what do you think social currency means?
Like following.
Followers, likes.
Like if I get like a certain number of followers or a certain number of just likes, like I can get money off of that. Like promo deals.
No. We'll cut the real money out of it for now. But yeah, we'll talk about the actual social currency, like how we value ourselves based on how many followers and likes. How many followers do you have on Twitter?
I don't even know.
Do you not care?
No, not really.
Yeah, a lot of people really don't care, but there are people who do value. They put a lot of stock into how many people like their photos, and you'll see people like that really just post photos at certain times because they know that they'll get more likes or views or whatever. And same thing with more or less like how they create their accounts. Also, do you know how many followers you have?
Don't lie.
On what?
On let's say Twitter.
I don't have Twitter.
Yeah.
Or Instagram. I didn't remember what you said.
I just made a new one. It's like 15.
Why'd you make a new? See, I don't understand that. Why?
Because like on my old phone, like I don't remember.
He doesn't remember his password.
I'm bad at remembering.
Okay, let me tell you. Since I used to be a tech, let me give you guys a life pro tip. Remember your passwords.
I wrote it down on like an envelope, and I have all.
Create one password with 3 variations.
I did that.
So and you'll use it your whole life. Like if it's so basically, if your password is hamburger 23, one of them will be with the capital H, one of them will be with the capital B. You'll just have and that's not my password. You'll have a variation of the same password 3 different ways, because this is a tech tip. Most of these apps or anything you have to log into will only give you 3 to 5 chances before you're locked out. So if you keep using it and you change it, you just use a variation of it, you'll eventually figure it out on your own without having to be locked out. That's a life pro tip. So remember your passwords. What about you? How many followers do you have?
On Instagram, I think I have like at least 2,000 followers.
Whoa, there's not even 2,000 people who live in Kenedy.
I'm not from Kenedy.
Oh, I get it. That's probably why.
Twitter, it's, I don't know, maybe 100. I don't really care for followers.
But you remember the number.
Yeah, because I always look at my profile. I don't know, like when I'm bored, like, I just go back and look at my own profile.
You remember the number. That's saying something. So we don't realize it, but we do. We value social currency. It's like our form of money online. How many likes can I get? How many? And that does the same thing. Releases dopamine. And like even when you see somebody's photo, let's say this girl that you knew that's well off. Mm-hmm. One of her photos gets 500 likes. What does that do to you?
Like, it must be nice. Like, all them likes.
Yeah, it kind of makes you feel like, wow, I don't have that kind of social currency or that money. So that's part of what's happening in our society. Like we all basically, you guys are a very unique little group. You did a good job of picking them out. I mean, just off of what I know about you guys, you're pretty quiet. Is that fair to say? You're very loud, and I mean that's not a negative thing. And
I feel like that's one of my skills, like a social skill.
Yeah, and I don't know much about you because I don't think you've been living in Kenedy for a while. But Detron picked you or Frank picked you for a reason. So it's a good little mix. You know what I mean? Like you what you talked about feeling anxious and kind of envious of this girl. What Frank's talked about, what Ashlyn's talked about. It's a good mix of how we can measure ourselves as a school district or as a student body. So yeah, I mean, there's no right or wrong answers. You guys are doing excellent so far. So we talked about the social currency. Like, we don't think we need it, but we really do. Like, when Frank posts something, I'm pretty sure he wants as many people to like it as possible.
Instead of saying social currency, do you mean like influence?
Or influence, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's a better way of thinking. Like,
what influence do you have on people?
Like,
that's not a question. I'm saying like that. That's more or less what we mean.
Like, say if I post something, it gets 5 likes. But if I post the exact same picture on Ashlyn's, it gets like 50 likes. Like, it's just more influence you have, like the more you can spread something. Like, that's what I think.
Okay.
And that makes it more valid.
I gotcha. Okay. So have you ever heard the term FOMO? FOMO?
No.
FOMO. FOMO. No. Okay. It's a real term. And when people study social media, it's one of the biggest things and why people don't go dark. Like, you were without your phone for how long?
A month.
A month. Did it feel good? Were you kind of anxious?
I was very anxious.
Very anxious.
Yes.
And that's FOMO. And I'm going to explain that in a second. And you,
when I lived in Corpus, I went without a phone for 16 years, and it was kind of like me. I was always in trouble because I wanted a phone. So when I had it, it was just worse, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it is worse.
Yeah.
It's opening up many doors that I don't think a lot of people are ready to handle. Not even adults. Like, the majority of people on Facebook, like in the world, do not need to be on Facebook. Like, they need to have their phones confiscated. But that's just me. That's personal opinion. But FOMO, you said you put your phone under
a bed for a week.
For a week. I got one. Oh no, it's just my watch telling me I need to move. I've been sitting for too long. So FOMO means fear of missing out. Okay. And that's a real term when people talk about social media and the effects it has on brainwaves. Fear of missing out. So you said you were anxious because you didn't have your phone for a month because you feared that you were missing something. You refresh your page every single day, every single time you're on there because you fear you're missing out on something. Do you understand that? Does that sound about right?
Yes.
Because why else would you refresh it so much?
You're anxious to know what happened.
You want to stay in the loop. You have a fear of missing out. And that's the main reason why people don't go dark completely. Like
to stay on the trend.
Yeah. Before I started doing this stuff for the school, I didn't have a social media account.
Really?
I trained I had been off. I'd been dark for almost 6 years. And what you talked about earlier about, having a business and stuff like that. Yeah, that's mainly why I reactivated the account that I have, because I am trying to grow a brand separately from what I do for the school. But yeah, it was pretty hard. Like, 6 years ago to go dark was very hard. But once I got to like a 2-3 week point, it's like, oh yeah, you realize how detrimental it is to your everyday habits. Like 2 hours a day. What else can you do in 2 hours a day besides looking at TikTok videos? You start to think about, what else can I do with my time? And it helps out a lot. So I'm not saying that social media is the worst thing in the world and everybody should not have one, because at this point in the game, almost everybody has a social media account. And without having one, you are out of the loop. Like, even with just watching the news, you're missing out on a lot of things. But the problem with society is, like, and even with teenagers, we don't know how to regulate ourselves. Like, we don't know how to say 2 hours is too much. 15 minutes is max. And that's where I think a lot of parents, especially at Kenedy ISD, like, we need to step our game up as parents to make sure that we're keeping track of our student and our kids' screen time. And we're going to go over that here in a second with the survey results that we took in October, I believe it was. So one more thing that the anxiety and the depression that you get from social media is online harassment. You talked about it. Not only do you hate it, you partake in it. You see what I mean? Like, it's very hard. Like, you can't regulate that. You get humor. I mean, you get happiness out of reading funny comments about someone's disability.
Yeah, that's really sad when you say that.
When you hear it, it gives it a different perspective,
really
right?
Sad. Like, it sounds like I'm a horrible person, but if you get to know me and meet me, like it's a different perspective. Like, like before when I was saying like connection, like if it was her, I wouldn't be laughing. I would be defending her. But since I don't know this girl and she just like keeps going, like in these comments, keep coming, like it's just like funny. Like I don't know why.
It's a disconnect.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong. I mean, that's part of like with the society we live in. But as long as you're aware of it, maybe you can help improve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What you're doing online. So we're gonna whip out some of these survey results. So I believe it was in October, we sent out a survey to all the students from 4th grade to 12th grade at Kenedy ISD. Yes, I said 4th grade.
Wow.
4th grade.
Have you seen that one like
grade.
iPhone 11 Pros? I'm like, well, how?
I know,
and I'm
just
like, I'm still stuck with this little bougie phone, and you got an iPhone 12.
Hold on. I need to know if I need to blank that word out.
What?
Bougie.
Bougie is like
Bad. I know what it is. I was just kidding.
no.
Wait, are you serious?
No, I am serious. What is it?
Bougie's
Bougie.
like she got this jacket. No, okay, look at our sweaters.
Okay.
Like, see how like mine.
This is a cardigan.
Okay, see, okay, your cardigan. Say if like we had the exact same cardigan, but mine was from Walmart and yours was from Gucci. Like yours
That's
would be bougie.
Oh, okay.
It's not a bad word.
Okay. Bougie, Gucci.
Bougie Gucci.
What about so bougie and Gucci? All right.
Bougie.
Well, bougie and Gucci. It means something.
Better, I guess.
I guess
Yeah.
they both mean good. Okay, so we took a survey in October. We sent it out to students here at Kenedy ISD. We also surveyed the parents online. We had 280 students take
How many
this.
parents?
That's a good question. I believe the parents. Let me see. I didn't write that number down, but I have it. That's a good question. Thank you for hitting me with something I wasn't prepared for. So we sent it out to the student. We had the students take it during class. That's 4th grade through 12th grade. We had 92 4th through 5th graders take it, 23 6th through 8th graders, and 93 9th through 12th graders take this test. 30% of our students had a Facebook page. I think they're lying. Or, I mean, I think they might have been telling the truth, but nobody uses Facebook.
Yeah.
Teenagers. Oh, you do?
Yeah, but it's just for family.
Okay. I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
But do you update it?
Yeah, like every once in a while.
But you're a senior.
What?
She's a sophomore.
Oh, so you're talking like beneath the senior?
No, I'm just saying, like
It's just the diversity.
the divert, like
Oh, okay.
We
okay.
rarely use Facebook more so than your like generation.
so that you're old.
Oh.
You're a boomer compared to them.
Yeah, yeah. I
Just
forgot
kidding.
You're not seniors.
So I get it. Like, and I guarantee, like, there was probably 1 to 0% of these Facebook users were in middle school, and 0% in probably elementary. Instagram, we had 63.8%, which sounds accurate. Snapchat, 57.8%. Twitter, 30.7%. So Kenedy, somebody who said that earlier, Kenedy is Twitter.
I said that.
We're going to talk about that here in a second. And 83.9% of students said they use YouTube. Now, YouTube's really not a social media. If you want to see some horrible comments on stuff, that's where you go. That's the troll capital. But YouTube entertainment is something else, and it's. I watch YouTube for about 30, 40 minutes. I don't even watch TV. I watch YouTube because it's more defined of what I want rather than what the television's showing me. But we talked about Kenedy being a Twitter town. So we're going to go to the next page and we're going to talk about Kenedy being a Twitter town. So the parents told us what social media accounts they use or what social media services they have. Now the parents are the dark column right there. I don't have the numbers. I wasn't prepared to read this online, but you can see which social media platform do all of our Kenedy parents use the most. Facebook. And that's something across the entire world. Which social media account besides, don't go past WhatsApp, but what is the least used social media account for parents?
Twitter.
Twitter.
That's crazy.
So what is that telling you?
They're not up to date.
They're old.
Well, they're old. Kids don't want to be where their parents are.
Yeah.
That's one for me. That's a bill collector. See, that's what happens when you get old. Your notifications are bills. So kids are where their parents aren't.
Mm-hmm.
But parents don't realize that. I don't think. Now here's a very interesting question we asked. We asked the parents, what social media accounts do you have? What social media accounts do your friends or do you think your students have? and they answered truthfully. So the middle one is what I think my students have. Twitter. Look at Twitter.
Whoa.
Wow.
So they, if I had to guess the number on this, they'd probably like 25% of them were like, I think my student has a Twitter, when the actual number is closer to 70% of actual students who have Twitter. So what does that
Bro,
say?
you're like exposing all of them.
I know, like all the
Hey, I'm not trying.
all the parents are gonna get Twitter now after this
I know.
watch.
I'm telling you, we weren't trying to tell on anybody.
Tweet.
Yeah, but you see where the disconnect is, right? We
Yeah.
talked about disconnect.
Time to go back to Kick.
Yes.
Kick, that's awful.
Kick.
And then you see our Snapchat users.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty high up there also. But the parents that have Snapchat, that's kind of interesting. I wasn't quite.
I have my mom on everything, so
Your-
like I don't have
Yeah.
nothing to hide.
That's you, but that's not everybody.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
So we talked about Kenedy. When Coach Alvarez and Dr. Barrera came over here, they wanted to make sure that we had a Twitter account. We did have a Twitter account. They're very, very big on Twitter, but the thing was, like, every community is different. I told them at the time, we don't have any very, very little parents on Twitter.
Yeah, like in the end of the year when they were like #Restore the World on Twitter, I was like,
Yeah, like when they started doing that, my uncle, like, he started getting Twitter, and I was like, what?
Yeah, there was a lot of parents, like after Coach Alvarez came in and Dr. Barrera came in, there was a lot of parents that started activating Twitter accounts to follow us. But I mean, at the same time, you're not really missing anything. What you see on Twitter is what you see on the Facebook page, and what you see on the Facebook page, you see on the Instagram page. But it's just part of that, connection. Like, oh, I got a Twitter page or a Twitter account. But there is a disconnect. And what I mentioned to them was that we had a huge demographic of parents on Facebook and a huge demographic of students on Twitter. But everybody kind of met in the middle with Instagram. You see what that is? Kenedy ISD is never going to get a Snapchat. But that's not what we're doing. That's not how we're going to market the school. But a lot of students have Snapchat, right? It's the second largest grouping that we have on here. That's because parents aren't on there, correct?
Right.
And a lot of students think that Snapchat is temporary. Everything disappears. When in reality, nothing ever disappears. So whatever you're doing on Snapchat, you're trying to keep it, I guess, hidden or away from your parents. Just be safe. You know what I mean? When we're going to release these results here on the KennedyISD.com website under students and parents, and you'll be able to see these results. And, like I said, we're not trying to expose anybody. We're trying to keep everybody safe. Who has a little brother?
I do.
How old is your little brother?
He's like 6, 7 now. 7 at least.
Okay. So when you get to 4th grade, what age is that? Like 9?
Yes.
So would you want him at 9 years old to have a Twitter account?
No.
Why not?
Well, from what I see on Twitter, it's just like I don't want him to see what I see, and
Yeah.
I don't want him to be like, oh, it's okay, like I could do that too, or I could learn from that, or I don't.
We'll keep that a short answer, but the answer is no.
No.
You wouldn't want him on there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I doubt any of these parents would want their kids to be at a bar, on a Friday night. It's just not a place for kids. The internet is not a place for kids. Now you can get a lot of good out of it. YouTube, you can get a lot of tutorials. There's a lot of learning that can be done on the internet for the most part. But if a parent's not there to regulate it, you think kids are going to go on to coolmathgames.com? Probably not.
Yeah.
So it's trouble. So that's basically what this whole conversation is about. So we talked about how many students have Twitter accounts versus how many parents know about these Twitter accounts, and it's not the connection's really not there. So we asked parents also, do you monitor your child's social media accounts, phone and web activities? 75% of the parents said yes. It's hard to really decipher this because the colors are in black and white. And 11.3 said no. 13% said, I do not know how to monitor my students' online activity. So 75% of these parents said yes, they do. Do you believe that?
no.
No.
Why not?
I feel like the parents are just trying to show, like, like bluff, like to show like, oh yeah, like my kid trusts me and all that. Like my mom, like she gives me trust, and like that lets me grow as a person, like with my social media accounts. And she tells me, you know, don't post anything, you know, dumb or stupid. And so when like if something like that happens at the school or whatever, and it brings up my social media account, like that just trust is taken away. I feel like half these parents, like they know their kid like they took this question as like, oh, they know their kid has an account, and like, oh, they see that they post like the good stuff, but the other thing that these parents are knowing is like these kids have like a Finsta or a private
Finsta. You said a key word there. What is a Finsta? Come on, expose them. You brought it up, Frank. I said whoever was going to bring it up was going to have to talk about it.
Finsta is like an exclusive account. Well, not really. It's kind of like that, and then like you post like more of your life,
or like a PT, like a private Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh, I never heard it. Thank you for bringing that up.
I didn't even know people.
Me either.
I didn't know people do that.
Oh yeah.
Private.
How do you know that?
throwing
You don't
everybody
even
out.
have Twitter.
Oh, well, I don't have Twitter. Like it's like my my brother is like the older generation.
Dang you.
I know.
There's gonna be a lot of mad people at us.
Bro.
Frank.
We're just trying to help. Nobody's gonna get mad. So one of the things that we not this is not a Kenedy thing. This is a society thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is Finsta. Like parents know that Billy Bob has a cute little account with
Billy Bob.
with roses, and he takes pictures of his puppies, but the mom doesn't know about Billy Bob _XYZ _759 or whatever the Finsta account is. And that's a problem. So she's following Billy Bob's, the cute page, but she's not following his Finsta page. And for the parents out there, they're like, what language are you speaking? Finsta stands for fake Instagram. So
that's a good one.
I didn't even know that.
you didn't know
I
that?
didn't know that either.
I thought it was like,
That's why we both look at each other.
Fake Instagram account. So it's a real thing. So like a lot of students hide under the fact.
Can I look that up? Because I don't think that's right.
Go ahead.
I feel like it is. Nah, you just want to go check your notifications.
Yeah, let me look it up.
Right.
Let me look it up. Because
Go to Urban Dictionary.
all right, I'm gonna look up Finsta right now. But my point is that we a lot of parents, the 75% of the people that parents that said that they follow their students' activity, they might be missing some stuff, correct?
Yes.
And that's very dangerous. And we're gonna go over that right now on the parent monitoring. How do you monitor your students' online activity? Who said that they were gonna read that?
I got you.
Go ahead and read some of those examples. Now, these were actual comments made by parents from Kenedy ISD.
How do you monitor your students' online activities? Time limits, parental controls, check history. I follow them on social media. I check their phone. I have their passwords.
I have their password. That's a big one.
They must
That
be
is a
real
big
close.
one. I know.
The what?
They must be real close.
I know.
But what if they have a Finsta? You think they have that password?
No.
No.
Probably not. The the check history. How can you bypass the check history?
Delete it.
You could simply clear your history and it's not even there.
So that easy, right?
Yeah.
What about I follow them on social media?
I have another one.
They can have another one. So there's a lot of ways around this. So just being proactive isn't enough in today's society because kids are smart. They know.
Like with the check history, like sometimes like my mom has had her phone for like I think 2-3 years, and she doesn't know like some of the features that it has. Like she like the stuff that we know like what to do on it. Like and she's like, how do you do that?
Yeah, my mom barely
Frank,
How do you take a picture?
literally I fix something and she's like, so smart.
You're like a tech genius when it comes to that. But yeah, so a lot of this stuff only works if the kid is completely honest, correct?
Yes.
And kids are kids, you know?
That's rare.
So I'm not saying that kids are bad, but kids are kids. And it's okay for kids to be kids, but parents need to be a little bit more proactive on checking the phone, rather than just leaving it up to, oh yeah, I'm following their account, or, I check their history. Because there's a lot more that goes into that. Like checking their screenshots, checking their notes that they keep on their phone. You can even check like the clipboard to see what they're copying and pasting and things like that. Like just to make sure that they're not.
Do that?
Yeah,
I didn't
you
even
can.
know that was.
I didn't even know that either.
Yeah. There are apps out there that I wish more parents would use. And it's not to be mean to the kids, but it's just to keep people safe so that we don't have incidences.
I feel like since like you're a parent now, like you would say that like to keep, like I feel like they use it every time, like to keep kids safe as like a way so they can use like Life 360 or like just to monitor
That's
them.
what I have. I have a
Yeah.
tracking device on my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it.
Okay. So I'm gonna get a little personal really briefly. Is I have an older daughter. You probably
Yeah.
don't know her. Oh, you probably do know her. And she was dealt a bad deck of cards because I am who I am. I'm a tech genius. So everything she did, as far as like anything on her phone, even as installing apps, whatever, had to get approval through me, which is horrible.
Yeah, that is.
But I kept her safe to a certain extent. You know, I know more or less knew like there was a situation where I was able to prevent from happening because I was making sure that I was doing my due diligence as a parent and making sure that she was safe. I'm not going to get too into it, but I kept her safe.
Mhm.
That's the bottom line, is keeping her safe. You're a kid. When parents say something like, well, I want to give my kid privacy, that's the worst thing you can say. Like, they can have privacy when they live on their own.
Yeah.
Now, you're going to disagree with me, but I guarantee your mom will say the same thing.
My mom like the trust that me and my mom have, it's over like building of time.
Mhm.
And so if my mom finds something like sad, or like horrible on my phone, like it'll break that, but over time it'll just build back up. So like giving your kid like more space, like if they're going through something, because like I think like everyone, like it's anyone who feel like they can do it by themselves when in reality they can't. So when a kid is just given a chance, like when my mom asks like, are you okay? And I say no, and she just leaves me, I'm like, and I'm trying to go through it. And then that's at that moment where I'm like, Ma, and like, I just tell her, like, instead of her forcing it and like, just like sitting on my bedside, like, what is it? It's bothering me. And like, that would just make me even more frustrated.
But she knows you.
Yes.
But we're talking about just making sure that we're, she doesn't have to know everything about you, but she knows enough about you and about enough of what you do online and on your phone to keep you safe. Does she know that you check out the girl with no arm on TikTok?
But I show her TikToks. like we have a favorite one. It was like it was a Mexican dude wearing like a Michael Myers mask, and the girl's like, you don't look like Michael, you look like Mikael Myers. And then it was like, it's our favorite.
You had to be there.
Yeah, it's just so funny. Like me and her vibe to that, and like other
Vibe.
stuff.
What is vibe?
It's like
Nah,
you
I'm
know
just
the
kidding. I know
vibes.
it
No, I'm
is.
just kidding.
I'm just playing. So, student activity. What my parents do not know about social media is that you, Ashlynn?
Oh, yes.
So we had the students truthfully and anonymously answer what my parents do not know about social media is. Take it away, Ashlynn.
My parents know everything, nothing except Facebook. I can post whatever. All of my accounts, it is bad, waste of time, everything that goes on.
I feel like you answered it as bad waste of time, Ashlynn. I'm just kidding. So all of my accounts, somebody admitted that their parents do not know that about all of their accounts.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
That's
I mean, it doesn't have, like, we wanted the student to be honest because we are.
Mhm.
We are trying to keep students safe. There's a lot of bad things that go on the internet. People say bad things. You never know if it's just words or if there's action. There's going to be action behind there. And it's a dangerous world. You know what I mean? We as parents, we as teachers, we as staff and administration, our job is to keep you guys safe and give you guys good experiences throughout your time here at Kenedy ISD. And with the help of parents, by making sure that we know that they're monitoring or just keeping track of what their students are doing online, you know, it keeps everybody safe and happy. So what my parents do not know about social media is, we went through that on the list. We talked about it together. Does this seem pretty accurate to you guys?
Yeah.
Is it scary?
Yes.
Why?
Because
They don't know what's going on.
Yeah, like
What is like a website or an app that parents do not know about, you think?
we don't know.
wait.
Now he's
I
pleading
do
the
know.
fifth. Okay.
what is it? Hola or
Don't.
Hola or like
It's on Snapchat, and you can like link it through Snapchat. It's called
Okay.
YOLO.
YOLO. Okay, I've heard of that.
Hola, not YOLO.
Oh,
I don't even know that
Okay,
one.
Hola is like a a video, chat people around like across the whole world.
Yeah.
And
like Monkey.
Yeah, like that too.
Oh yeah, I'm like,
But that one's another one that he said.
That one.
It's just bad.
Mhm.
It's not really bad. It's just
No, it's bad.
No.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
like
There's
you
no
can
words
post
you can
like
describe.
tell me something or ask me a question, and like the kids will just get ruthless, and you don't
Because it's anonymous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't know who's saying that.
I used
It's
to get those a
anonymous.
lot.
Anonymous until like the authorities get involved,
Mhm.
and then it's not anonymous.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind, kids.
Yep.
There's no such thing as privacy on the internet. Because if you're using this app for free,
Mm-hmm.
nothing in life is free, right?
no.
But you can use Snapchat for free because there's a server. Somebody has to pay that electricity bill to keep that server running.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
From the
Company
users,
paying it?
I feel
The
like
company's paying it,
yeah,
but why
it's
are they?
from us?
Why are they giving money? Why are they shelling out all this money to keep a server going to give you a free product?
Is it bad? I don't know.
Because you're the product.
Because like all the filters that we use, all like the just using it like gives them money.
Well,
Yeah.
let me explain that really quickly.
Yeah.
You are the product. We are the product. For the first time in the world's history, something has surpassed the price of oil. Oil was like more expensive. Like the price of oil is what we basically base our world economy on. I mean, it was gold at one point, but
Mhm.
the price of oil is what drives the world now, or was. What drives the world now is the price of data. I have 5,000 data points on Frank Wilson of Kenedy, Texas. I know what he likes. I know what time he uses his phone. I know where he takes his photos. I know who he sends his photos to. I know what he searches at 11 p.m. at night. I know his favorite foods.
Why did you
By
say
his-
so late?
Basically the data points.
You're like a stalker.
What that company does, what Snapchat does, is they sell that data to other
I
companies.
thought that's illegal.
No,
Yeah.
you agreed to it when you sign up.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, with like, do you accept? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't use the product without agreeing for them to sell your data.
Dang. I
That's
didn't read that. I
know
just
that.
accept.
that's how they keep the electricity flowing for free. I mean, for the servers, for it to work. That's
Okay.
how the product is for free, because you are the product. They know more about Ashlynn Serrano than maybe your mom knows.
Wow.
Like what time of day you like. If I asked your mom right now what Ashlynn's favorite app on her phone would she know?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay, or her top 15 contacts on her phone are, would she know?
No.
But somebody in Wisconsin knows. Or a computer in Wisconsin knows that information. Or what your favorite search term is on YouTube or Spotify. A computer knows that information. So what I'm saying is like it's a dangerous world. So why any parent would want that information to be accessed to a fourth grader in Kenedy Elementary School is beyond me. But we have it, and I just don't think parents realize how dangerous that is for that information to be out there. Student activity. What I want my younger sibling or relative to know about social media is. Take it away, Dezirae.
Do not talk to people you don't know. Keep your accounts private. Cyberbullying, be safe. It is time consuming. You can become famous.
How often is people going to become famous on social media?
It's
Yeah.
like you have to have that personality.
One in a quadrillion. So, but for the most part, students, when they answered anonymously the question about what I want my younger relative or sibling to know about social media is, they're all of a sudden they're protective.
Yeah.
Why? They don't want their parents to be protective, but they want to be protective of their younger relatives. Why though?
I think
They don't want him
Go ahead,
to like
go
go
ahead.
through what like we're going through now,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I get it.
Because I feel like we're more experienced through it more so than our parents were.
Oh,
it's a new
but you know the
life
negatives of
coming
it.
in.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
a new life
Yeah.
coming into the world, not knowing like everything that's happening now, you know? So for instance, like all of us, we know everything about phones. We know all the social media apps
And how to hide stuff.
and how to hide stuff. That too. And we wouldn't want our younger ones, new innocents, coming in and then taking in all of that and learning it.
Because what we talked about in the very beginning about the anxiety it causes, depression it causes, the online harassment, all the negative aspects of it. You don't want your younger sibling or relative to go through that.
No.
So why are we fighting our parents?
Because our parents don't know. Like,
Yeah, like I feel like they don't know what we're going through, you know?
their bullying was not our bullying.
Yeah.
True.
Like what we feel right now is not what they feel. Like
Their
when
bullying was thrown into the lockers.
Yeah.
And
like when they say, oh, I went through it, but like we went through, like we're going through it different. So when our younger sibling has that, like we can
Relate.
connect,
Yeah.
connect, main word, with them, instead of our parents like seeing how like they connect and thinking that they can solve it, when it's just us, like we can solve it on our own with like our friends and
Yeah.
people we know.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
But the parents are still trying to help. Right?
yes.
More so.
Because you guys are being protective of your younger sibling because you know. But just because your parents don't know doesn't mean they're not trying to help. They're trying to prevent some negative things from happening in your life, and they don't know what it is. And that's the scary part. You guys are absolutely right. Your parents do not know half of what you guys know on the what goes on the internet. My kids, unfortunately, they have me as a dad, so I know everything. But I understand. Like I've talked to people. I have friends my age who have kids my age, and it's very hard. It's not only hard to be a teenager. It's just hard general. It's hard to be a kid. It's hard to be a parent. It's hard to be in relationships with all the social media stuff you have nowadays. Life is just hard, and it all stems from what?
Social media.
There we go. So there's a lot that goes on to it. It's a good tool and it's a bad tool. But as long as we are aware that there are negative aspects on there, we can help control and help build off of it and make it a safer place for not only Kenedy ISD, but for everybody. But for the most part, we need to take care of each other. We need to take care of our younger. Oh, my wife's calling. That's 1. That's 3. That's a bill collector too. I'm just kidding. I'll have to call her back. So basically, you guys see what we're talking about here, though, right?
Yes.
The overall aspect of everything is to keep people safe and keep the students safe, because the internet is a scary, scary place. So any final comments you guys want to discuss on social media? Because I know you guys exposed everybody, so you're gonna have to deactivate your account.
That was all him.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, Ashlynn said like 20 words.
That's true. I don't know.
But then again, you don't know as much as Frank probably.
True.
You probably don't spend as much time on social media as Frank probably. And that's not a negative thing. You have to know because it's just who you are. You guys are completely different people with 3 completely different backgrounds, but we're all drawn to the same thing.
Yeah.
We all meet in the same place, but we all have different stories to tell. And whether or not, Ashlynn spends 5 hours on TikTok as opposed to Frank is irregardless, because what she does on the internet, what you do on the internet, all has permanent consequences eventually if it's something negative. So we just need to be more, as parents, we need to be more proactive, and we're going to have tips and tricks on www.kenedysd.com/parents and students to basically keep us all safe. There are apps. What was your 360 app?
The Life 360.
Life 360 app, our Pact, Google Family and Friends. There are apps to help regulate your students' screen time. Because, if you had a 6-year-old sister, would you want her face to be in a screen for 2 hours?
No.
Yeah, exactly. Can you take off your glasses? Do you take them off when you're on your phone?
Sometimes, because then my head will start hurting.
Because you're on your phone. Yeah, so physically and mentally, it's causing issues. So it's not about being these hovering parents and just like knowing every aspect. It's to keep them safe physically and mentally. Yeah, because I can't take off my glasses, and my room's dark because I have so much. My eyes are so exposed to screens all the time that it's ridiculous. We went past our time. But the point is that we need to work together, students and parents, to make sure that what we do online reflects who we really are.
Yeah.
There was an incident last year where something happened, and it was just a bad stain on all of Kenedy ISD because of what some kid said or did online. And it's not what we want. It's not what Dezirae Santana does. It's not what Frank Wilson does, and it's not what Ashlynn does. So if the parents were more involved, I think, in that situation, that would have never happened. The situation that happened this year, that would have never happened. We just need to make sure that not only our parents are regulating us, but we're regulating ourselves also. I don't want you in 5 years not be able to get a job because of something you tweeted about in 2014.
Yeah.
I don't want you to not be able to get a job or go to college because somebody you follow on TikTok or something you might have said. Same for you. So, we have to be safe. And with the internet, mistakes are forever. So let's be smarter about how we use the internet and safer. Anything else you want to say, Ashlynn?
I think we're all good.
Well, I appreciate you guys' time, man. It was a very good, productive. I hope that first 30 minutes saved. That would be really bad if it didn't.
Oh.
So let's read the results of our notification experiment. I think I already know Frank's the winner.
Dude, I told him not.
Let me see that he won't cheat.
Wait, where are you going to?
No, he was keeping track of.
Oh.
Des had 6. Frank had 1, 2, 5.
He's the winner.
Yeah, Frank's the winner. Gunnery had 3, and I had like.
Wait, does it
9.
count before you made us turn on our ringer?
Because you had 50 before.
Yeah, I had like 50 before.
Nah, it was after the ringer.
Oh man.
But basically, I mean, you guys know we talked about how having the notification causes a sense of anxiety. Are you anxious to see who's texted you? Yet?
Yeah.
You weren't earlier, but now.
Well, I mean, now that we're wrapping up.
I know it was because I told them not to text me.
So, but you're ready to check them now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the other things is you guys are gonna start driving here soon. Don't be on your phone while you drive.
Taking it today.
The what?
My test is today.
Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
And in the future,
Very easy.
wow, I missed like 5.
Wow, you're a sophomore. She already took.
You already took it?
I'm
Wow,
a senior. I'm
congratulations.
barely taking mine.
But it's not a joke, especially with that driving and texting.
Yeah.
All of that nonsense is nonsense. It can wait. So part of the message that we're going to be releasing on the www.kennedyisd.com/parents and students is some of that information about talking to your teenager about texting while driving. Like it's not worth it. It's never worth it. So you guys stay safe.
Okay.
Be smart. And what are you going to do after high school?
Go to college and continue playing softball.
Awesome. So as long as you don't have any tweets or anything that come back to haunt you, you should be good.
Yeah.
Same thing with you, Frank. What are you doing after high school?
I want to study molecular gastronomy at Kenedy. San Antonio. It's a private college.
I know what Trinity is. But good job. Good job. As long as you're not making any crazy TikTok videos, everything should be good. And you, Ashlynn?
I want to go to.
You still got like 9 years before
I
you
know.
graduate.
That's true. I want to go to college to be a mortician.
Oh, wow. Yeah, this interview's over. Well, I appreciate you guys and all the things that you guys enlightened me with. And by the way, I looked it up, and Finsta does mean fake Instagram.
Wow. I did not know that.
So I appreciate you guys for episode 4's The Dangers of Social Media. You guys are the voice of our student body, so make sure you represent us well. Frank.
Bye, guys.
Dezirae. Ashlynn. Until next time, lions, leopards, and cubs, remember who you are. This is Gunner signing out.